Welcome to LuxuryX, your go-to channel for luxury lifestyle, high-end products, and success stories. What's something people don't know about the biggest comebacks in business history? You ever feel like you're backed into a corner? Like the world's throwing everything it's got at you and you're one punch away from getting knocked out? Listen, we've all been there. Failure, doubt, that feeling of starting from scratch, it's part of the game. But what separates the entrepreneurs who win from those who just fade away? It's the ability to take that hit, get back up, and come back stronger. Imagine losing everything you've worked for, only to rise from the ashes stronger than ever. Today we're diving into the stories of entrepreneurial giants who faced ruin and staged remarkable comebacks. Stay tuned, because these tales of resilience might just change your life. Let's talk about Steve Jobs, a name synonymous with Apple, with innovation, with changing the world. But before the iPhones, before the iPods, before the App Store revolutionized how we live, Steve Jobs tasted failure. And I'm not talking about a small setback. I'm talking about getting kicked out of the very company he started. Can you imagine pouring your heart and soul into something, building it from the ground up, only to be shown the door? That's exactly what happened to Jobs in 1985. The Macintosh, a project he'd championed, wasn't meeting sales expectations. There were clashes with the board, differences in vision, and ultimately, Jobs was ousted. Imagine the sting of that rejection, the feeling of being betrayed by your own creation. Most people would have crumbled, licked their wounds, and faded into obscurity, but not Steve Jobs. He took that pain, that frustration, that burning desire to prove everyone wrong, and he channeled it into something new. He didn't just sit around feeling sorry for himself. He founded Next, a computer company that, while not an immediate commercial success, would later play a pivotal role in Apple's resurgence. And let's not forget Pixar, the animation studio Jobs acquired and transformed into a storytelling powerhouse. The man was relentless. He was driven by an insatiable hunger to innovate, to create, to leave his mark on the world. And that's exactly what he did. When Apple acquired Next in 1997, Jobs returned to the company he co-founded, a conquering hero ready to rewrite history. The rest, as they say, is history. Now let's talk about a guy who embodies what it means to swing for the fences, even when the odds are stacked against you. Elon Musk. This is a man who's not afraid to push boundaries, to challenge the status quo, to risk it all in pursuit of a vision. From revolutionizing online payments with PayPal to pioneering electric vehicles with Tesla, and pushing the boundaries of space exploration with SpaceX, Musk's journey is paved with audacious bets and near-death experiences. Remember the early days of Tesla, when electric cars were seen as a niche product, a pipe dream for eco-warriors? Musk poured his own money, his own sweat and tears, into keeping the company afloat. There were production delays, funding shortfalls, and a whole lot of skepticism from the industry giants. People thought he was crazy, that Tesla would go bankrupt, that his dreams were too big. But Musk didn't flinch. He doubled down, took risks, and proved the doubters wrong. And then there's SpaceX. Imagine the audacity of a guy who wants to colonize Mars, who wants to make humanity a multi-planetary species. In 2008, both Tesla and SpaceX were on the brink of collapse. The global financial crisis had crippled the economy, and Musk was facing a stark choice: save one company or let both die. He refused to give up. He poured his remaining fortune into both companies, betting everything on his vision for the future. He knew that failure was an option, but he also knew that not trying was not. And guess what? He succeeded. Against all odds, both Tesla and SpaceX survived, thrived, and went on to become global powerhouses. Elon Musk's story is a testament to the power of unwavering belief, relentless work ethic, and the courage to dream big, even when everyone else thinks you're crazy. Chapter 3. Let's rewind the clock and talk about a man whose name is synonymous with imagination, creativity, and the magic of childhood: Walt Disney. But before the fairy tale castles, before the iconic characters, before Disneyland became the happiest place on earth, Walt Disney faced financial ruin. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into your passion, only to see it crumble before your eyes. That was Disney's reality in the 1920s. His first animation studio, Laugh-O-Gram Films, went bankrupt. He was broke, jobless, and facing an uncertain future. But here's the thing about visionaries like Walt Disney: they don't let setbacks define them, they use them as fuel. as motivation to come back stronger, to prove the doubters wrong. Disney packed his bags, left Kansas City for Hollywood, and with his brother Roy, started a new studio. They poured every ounce of their energy, every penny they had, into creating something truly special. And then came Mickey Mouse. This wasn't just a cartoon character, it was a symbol of hope, of resilience, of the power of dreams. Mickey Mouse became a global phenomenon, catapulting Disney to new heights of success. But the challenges didn't stop there. Building Disneyland, his dream theme park, pushed Disney to the brink of financial ruin once again. He mortgaged his house, poured his personal savings into the project, and faced constant skepticism from those who thought it would never work. But Disney, like the true entrepreneur he was, never lost sight of his vision. He understood that innovation requires risk, that greatness demands unwavering belief, and that the greatest rewards often come after the toughest challenges. Disneyland opened its doors in 1955, becoming an instant success and solidifying Walt Disney's legacy as a true visionary. His story teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, unwavering belief in yourself and your dreams can lead to extraordinary achievements. Chapter 4. Now let's talk about a woman who built an empire on the idea of creating a beautiful, welcoming home, Martha Stewart. From crafting to cooking to decorating, she seemed to have it all figured out. But behind the perfectly curated image, behind the success story, lay a challenge that almost derailed everything. In 2004, Martha Stewart was convicted on charges related to insider trading. Imagine the public scrutiny, the legal battles, the damage to her reputation, to her brand, to everything she had built. This wasn't just a business setback, it was a personal crisis. Many thought her career was over, that her empire would crumble, that she would fade from the spotlight. But Martha Stewart is a fighter. She served her time, emerged from the experience with her head held high, and set out to rebuild her life, her brand, her empire. She understood that the key to a comeback is not just about fixing the business, but also about owning your mistakes, learning from them, and using them to fuel your growth. She returned to her company, Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia, with a renewed sense of purpose, a fire in her belly, a determination to prove everyone wrong. She diversified her brand, embraced new media platforms, and connected with a new generation of consumers who admired her resilience and her hustle. Martha Stewart's story is a powerful reminder that even when we fall, even when we make mistakes, we have the power to rise again. It's about owning our truth, learning from our past, and using those experiences to fuel our comeback. She didn't just bounce back, she came back stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Chapter 5. Let's talk about a man who revolutionized the automotive industry, who put America on wheels, whose name is synonymous with innovation and mass production, Henry Ford. But before the Model T, before the assembly line, before Ford Motor Company became a global giant, Henry Ford faced a string of failures that would have crushed most entrepreneurs. Imagine pouring your heart, your soul, your life savings into a venture, only to see it fail. Not once, not twice, but multiple times. That was Henry Ford's reality in the late 19th century. His first two car companies went bankrupt. He faced skepticism, doubt, and ridicule from those who believed his vision of a car for the masses was nothing more than a pipe dream. But Ford possessed an unwavering belief in his vision, a stubborn refusal to accept defeat. He understood that failure wasn't the opposite of success, it was a stepping stone to it. Each setback, each bankruptcy provided valuable lessons, insights into what didn't work, refining his approach, fueling his determination. In 1903, Ford founded the Ford Motor Company, armed with the lessons learned from his past failures, a relentless drive to innovate, and an unshakable belief in his vision. He introduced the Model T, a car that was affordable, reliable, and accessible to the average American. He revolutionized manufacturing with the assembly line, making cars more affordable and accessible than ever before. Henry Ford's story is a testament to the power of perseverance, of learning from our mistakes, of never giving up on our dreams, no matter how many times we stumble. It's a reminder that the road to success is rarely linear. It's paved with challenges, setbacks, and failures. But it's those who rise above those challenges, who learn from their mistakes, who refuse to give up, who ultimately achieve greatness. These stories, these incredible journeys of resilience, they remind us that failure is not the end. It's a chapter, a verse, a single line in the story of our lives. It's the fuel that ignites our comeback, the fire that forges our resilience. If you're facing a setback, if you're feeling lost, if you're wondering how you're going to get back up, remember these stories. Remember Steve Jobs, who turned rejection into a revolution. Remember Elon Musk, who stared down bankruptcy and launched rockets into space. Remember Walt Disney, who turned a mountain of debt into the happiest place on earth. Remember Martha Stewart, who rebuilt her empire with grace and grit. And remember Henry Ford, who proved that even multiple failures can't stop a truly driven entrepreneur. These stories remind us that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to greatness. If you want to learn more about navigating financial trouble, click on the video on your screen now. Remember, your comeback story is just waiting to be written.